Hey folks, welcome to another video. So in this one, we are going to take a pessimistic view about OpenClaw. So you might have heard about, hey, this is how OpenClaw is changing my life, OpenClaw is the future, etc, etc. Yes, it is a powerful technology, but it's not quite there yet. It's not quite there yet in the terms of reliability, and that's why it's sort of I think it will be a turn off for a lot of people, and that's what we are going to see in this video. So let's get to the screen and I'll show you more about what I mean. Okay, so we have this article by Kevin Simbach, and what he did is that he went through almost every use case, over 100 articles on X, countless GitHub repos, and plenty of this changed my life threads that I could find on OpenClaw, and he compiled all the use cases that he thought were most popular ones, this is how people are using OpenClaw. So we'll go through each use case, and I'll tell you, is OpenClaw reliable, what are the things that you have to keep in mind, and let's break it down. So the first one that we have is that people are using OpenClaw as personal assistants. So this may sound obvious, but OpenClaw is at its best a personal assistant. It is designed to serve its master by remembering as much about you as possible, becoming proactive over time, and working 24/7 on your behalf. So what are the use cases? Well, the first one is email automation. If email is important to you and you are comfortable giving OpenClaw access to your inbox, it's a big game changer. OpenClaw can triage, categorize, unsubscribe from garbage, draft replies for human approval, set up workflows, etc. The value is immediate and it compounds. Agent learns about your patterns, it gets better at filtering, surfaces only what actually needs your attention in whatever way works for you. Now, the key thing here is if email is important to you and if you are comfortable giving OpenClaw access to it. Now, why should you question that? Because of this headline. Well, Meta security researcher's AI agent accidentally deleted her emails. So Meta's security researcher ran OpenClaw on her inbox, but its size triggered compaction and it lost my original instruction to get her permission before deleting. And this is the tweet where she revealed what happened. Nothing humbles you like telling your OpenClaw confirm before deleting and watching it speedrun deleting your inbox. I couldn't stop it from my phone. I had to run to my Mac Mini like I was defusing a bomb. So is this something that you are comfortable with? Are you comfortable with the possibility that OpenClaw might make a mistake and it might delete your inbox? Is that something you're comfortable with? That's what you have to ask yourself. Personally, I'm not, and that's why I'm not going to give OpenClaw access to my inbox. Now, let's look at the second use case. The second use case is daily briefing. So you get a 7 a.m. Telegram message where everything that's important to you to start the day, could be the weather, calendar stuff, top headlines, trending on X, aggregated news from your sources, etc. You just tell it what to aggregate and how you want to receive it, and your morning will never be the same. Now, when he says here, you just tell it what to aggregate and how you want to receive it, and your morning will never be the same. Well, it's not as simple as that. It is the major issue and the major gripe that I have with OpenClaw is that it's very tedious to set up, and even after you set things up, things can get finicky, things can get unreliable. You still might have to do a lot of troubleshooting. I have this reel from Matthew Berman that I want to show you. So here it goes.
Am one of the most advanced users of OpenClaw. This is my knowledge base. For every piece of content I ever come across, I wanted to be able to simply drop a link, ingest everything about it, and then I could use natural language to search against all of the knowledge base in the future. Here's the Sam Altman post acquiring OpenClaw, or basically hiring Peter Steinberger. Then it said, whoa, Peter Steinberger, OpenClaw creator, joining OpenAI to lead personal agents. That's huge news. So it goes to Twitter, grabs the post, looks for any reply. So if it's a thread, it will actually look for the thread, get the entire thread, look for any links to external URLs. It will also go grab that and put it all in my central repository. So here it is in our team Slack. It says, Matt wants you to see this. And now people know I read it because I did not want my team to think OpenClaw is just spamming links to them. It's things I actually read and gave it. Here's the prompt for the knowledge base. Build a personal knowledge base with RAG. Let me ingest URLs by dropping them in a Telegram topic, we'll extract key entities from each source, store everything in SQLite and vector embeddings. With the knowledge base, you can do stuff like this. Show me articles about OpenAI, and I'll just hit enter, and it'll find all of the articles I've ever saved about OpenAI, so I can always look at them later, reference them in a video, etc. Here are all the articles with links to them. It actually took a long time to set up because X is a little bit finicky about their API and scraping and all that, but this is how it works.
This is the first thing, that the X API is finicky, and this is the second one.
This is a fresh MacBook Air. I wiped it clean and I installed OpenClaw on it.
So the second thing is that he didn't set up OpenClaw on his primary device or his primary laptop, because there is a chance that OpenClaw might wipe it clean. Yes, there can be places where you can sort of give it access to a scoped storage where it has limited access to files, but then are you comfortable with the possibility that it might delete files in that folder that you give it access to? Or if it has access to your entire laptop, are you comfortable with the possibility that you might end up losing some important data? Is that something you are comfortable with? Personally, I am not, and that's why I am not very comfortable with the idea of giving OpenClaw access to my primary device. Okay, now in the case you do give it access to, let's say, a secondary device, then is it going to be a reliable knowledge base that you can just dump info into, and you can ask it to pull up any info you need anytime, and it will deliver that information for you? Yes, it can. It will work well that way, but it's not completely reliable. Okay, I'll tell you why. And I want to play this clip quickly, and this is also we are going to reference compaction here. Okay, where the meta security researcher mentioned that it's size triggered compaction. So let's check it out. And this video is from AI Jason, and he has like over 200,000 subscribers on YouTube. So yeah.
One of the key limitation factor for cloud code or any coding agent is the context management. If you use coding agent enough, what you often notice is that agent just seem to become dumber as it works longer and more complex tasks. You make same mistake and also forget about some stuff that you tried before. Fundamentally, it is limited by the context window of the model. Even though model can take around 1 million token, the actual effective context window is somewhere between 120 to 200. That's where all the coding agent today is designing its conversation compacting mechanism around those optimal context window limitations. But ideally, you want agent to be able to remember every single trace it did before.
So what he is essentially saying is that models have an effective context limit about, let's say, 128 to 200,000, even though on paper they will say that, hey, you can feed us data of about 1 million tokens, but this is the effective context limit. And we are still coming up with strategies. There is semantic search and vector search, like Matthew Berman mentioned. So those are some strategies where we are trying to work around this limitation and trying to get the best possible results, but it's still not perfect. Okay, it is accurate, definitely it will probably give you good results, but if you will think, hey, it will just pull out all the relevant information and it will give you all that information perfectly, then no, that's not going to be the case. So that is just something you need to be aware of. And second thing that you should know is that whenever you are giving any AI model a large amount of data, then the larger the data gets, the larger the costs get. Okay, and this is something I pulled out a couple of threads actually. Okay, so here it says stop burning money on API fees. Here is how to force OpenClaw to run 100% of your $20 per month Claude subscription. Then there is another one. I built a local proxy to save 90% on OpenClaw API costs by auto routing requests. And this is the last one. OpenClaw token / API burn is massive, so I had to figure out a way to reduce the burn. And he gives a couple of examples here that this guy hit $3,600 in a single month. You wake up, check your Anthropic dashboard, and there it is, a number that makes you question your life choices. This guy hit $3,600 in API spend in a single month. Someone on here burned $200 in one day from a loop. Another person reported $8 every 30 minutes just from Moltbook posts. Moltbook is a social network for OpenClaw's AI agents. OpenClaw is free. The API is absolutely not. So the larger the data that you give to an AI model, the larger costs you will incur. Okay, so that is just something that you have to keep in mind, that firstly, it is cumbersome to set up. It will not give you the perfect results. It will give you good results, sure, but it won't be perfect. And secondly, you might end up incurring a lot of costs. So these are two things that you have to be comfortable with. And if you are giving it access to your primary device or your inbox, then there is a possibility that it might end up deleting your files or deleting your inbox. So that is something you have to be comfortable with. Now let's go down. Okay, and then what are the ways that you can work around this? Okay, so another use case that he mentions is that you could be getting the weather. Yes, you can definitely get weather, but that is, can you ask Gemini to tell you the weather? You can do that. Calendar stuff. Well, Gemini has a calendar integration as well. If you are in the Google ecosystem and you use Google Calendar, then it's as simple as just linking. It's just a simple toggle that you have to enable, and Gemini will have access to your calendar, and it can give you a daily summary that you can schedule whenever you need. Here you will have to sort of link the calendar yourself, and you will have to do the entire setup on your own. Keep that in mind. Top headlines. Can Gemini do that? Yes, it can. What's trending on X? Well, we saw that it's not the X API is finicky, and if you sort of want to get what's trending on X, then well, you can just ask Grok there, because it's officially connected to Twitter. Aggregated news from the sources. Well, yes, Gemini can also do that. So you just tell it what to aggregate and how you want to receive it, and your morning will never be the same. So yes, it's possible to set this up, but like we saw, the setup is not that simple. Okay. Next, personal knowledge base or a second brain. We have all collected URLs and saved countless bookmarks just to forget about them. Now you can just drop those URLs, tweets, articles, etc. into chat, and the agent builds searchable memory. Hey, remember that article about the company that raised $50 million for AI safety? What was their product? Returns correct results via semantic search. The searchable second brain compounds the intelligence over time with the more info it has, and it's as simple as just sharing links or PDFs with your agent. Couple of things here. Firstly, the costs that I talked about, and secondly, that as the AI models have only got a limited amount of memory that they can use. Yes, semantic search will probably give you good results, but it's not going to be perfect. Just have that in mind. Okay. And if you are, even if you want to use something like this for having a personal knowledge base, then yes, you can use something like Gemini. It can connect to your Google Drive, and it will pull up all the info that you have. That way you don't have to worry about, hey, what's going to be the costs. Google does that workflow for you. And you also won't have to worry about, hey, like, how do I give OpenClaw access to my files? Does it have access to those files? Are those files in the cloud? They might be in Drive, they might be stored locally, etc., etc. You don't have to worry about those things with Google if all those files are in Google Drive. Okay, so it really depends on your use case. OpenClaw might be a great deal for you if you are sort of like anti-Google and you don't want to be in their ecosystem. Then yes, definitely this can work, but just keep in mind the costs and that you won't get the perfect results. Of course, Gemini won't give you the perfect results either, but it's much easier. You just flip a switch and you can get all the info you need from the files in Drive. Next, automating the mundane or impractical jobs. There are many tasks that can be done, but practically speaking are not worth most people's times. For example, it may be super tedious for you to search for local electricians, contact all of them and get quotes for a job, negotiate rates with multiple bids, and schedule the work while being mindful of your calendar. Agents can just do this. Nothing is mundane or tedious for them. So now you can just give them all those types of jobs and let them work it out. You can even connect voice apps for agents to make outbound calls on your behalf for scheduling appointments, making reservations, collecting info, etc. Now, yes, that is a genuine use case, and Google also has a similar feature for Android phones. But I think what this mostly falls down onto me personally, and why probably I won't use this feature, is that would you be fine if an AI agent is calling you on someone else's behalf? And so I think that people should treat themselves the way, should treat others the way they want to treat themselves. They want others to treat them. So personally, I wouldn't want any AI agent coming to me and talking on someone else's behalf. I would much rather have like, just if I have to call a couple of people, hey, yeah, I can do that. Like, you know what, that is the very thing that human connection is about, right? Like, if we are just going to give communications and everything to AI, then, well, what are we really doing? AI is going to do a lot of things, but something as basic as communication, I think that is something we should do on our own. Yes, AI is great. Let's say if, like, I'm calling a service center or something and they are putting me on hold, then yes, Google has this hold the call feature where it will sort of inform you when the agent is back and you don't have to wait. So that's a great feature, of course. But just talking to people using AI, that is something not I'm comfortable. Probably it comes down to ethics, but that's where I'm at with it. Now you have to decide whether that is something you are comfortable with. Okay. Then he gives an example. This is one of the best documented examples of ROI I found. So this guy wanted to buy a 2026 Hyundai car. His OpenClaw agent scraped Reddit for local pricing data, pre-filled contact forms on 12 dealer websites, set up a cron job to check emails every few minutes, played dealers against each other by forwarding competing quotes, negotiated over email while AJ did other things. Result is that he saved $4,200. So a couple of things. Well, you have to keep in mind that time is money. And as we have seen with the X API, I am pretty sure that Reddit won't make scraping their website as easy. Okay, that's the first thing. So you will probably run into a couple of issues there. The second thing that you have to keep in mind is that it will take costs to set up AI agents to do all this kind of workload for you. Every cron job, so every time OpenClaw checks your email to see, hey, is there have I gotten an appropriate response, that is this something I have to act on, each call that will cost you dollars. Okay, that is something you have to keep in mind. If you are comfortable with those costs, and also if you are comfortable with the idea that you will have to spend that amount of time on setting it up, then yes, sure, you can use OpenClaw. But you have to keep in mind that out of these $4,200, you will have to subtract the cost that the AI agent incurred in getting all this done. And it should at least be in hundreds of dollars, if not thousands, if you are using a good model. So that is something which is important and something that you should keep in mind. Okay, next we have health and wellness. While maybe not strictly in the personal assistant category, many users are reporting value from applying OpenClaw to live healthier, most of which comes from automatic things we know we should do, but often don't have the time to. For example, food or meal tracking. Take pictures, send it to OpenClaw, have it count the calories and give you daily snapshots, suggestions, etc. Custom meditations and mental wellness. You can easily have your OpenClaw serve as a wellness guide. Health reminders, simply reminding us of healthy things we should do, like standing up, going for a walk, can go a long way. The above 5 examples show the range of what you can do with OpenClaw on a personal level. Plenty of other good examples as well, many of which can be found in the links at the bottom. And I'll link this down below if you want to sort of check it out. Now, a couple of things that I'm not very sure about is that, look, I come from backdrop. I have built several AI products, so I know a bit about this technology, and that's the kind of mindset I'm coming up with. So when we talk about food and meal tracking, right, what the writer here means is that you can just simply click a picture, hand it over to OpenClaw, and it will take care of everything, right? We are assuming here that it will sort of keep if I'm like giving it 10 pictures, then it will sort of maybe have some kind of a spreadsheet or something like that it will correctly extract the calories from each snapshot. It will add those to that spreadsheet, then it will also go ahead and sum them up and do that on a daily basis. So at the moment, there are a lot of issues that can come on each step. Firstly, the AI is not going to be perfect in identifying each thing in the photo you click, and then expecting AI to sort of get the math right every time. Leave the math. Even assuming that AI will write all that data correctly to the spreadsheet, firstly, in that case, that is where things can sort of get wrong. The AI can make mistakes there, and then sort of just pulling out that data, summing it up, and then also correctly figuring out, okay, this is the age of this person, this is the calorie intake that they should have, and then just sort of doing all that comparison. A lot of things can go wrong here. AI probably won't be able to do all this in one go. So would I be comfortable just blindly handing over this data to OpenClaw and expecting it to get everything right? No. I might as well use a dedicated app for this here. If something like Cal AI or any, there are a bazillion or gazillion calorie tracking apps out there. So, and of course, OpenClaw probably won't know about your allergies or something like that, or and even if you want to something like health reminders, then well, you might as well use something like a smartwatch, right? Like which reminds you to go for a walk or do these kinds of things. So personally, none of these use cases that we have seen so far is sort of like a like a puller for me that yes, I can't live without this thing, and this is what OpenClaw is really good at. But if we move beyond personal assistance and if we look at something like dev workflow automation, then yes, this is where OpenClaw is actually very powerful. So what it can do, this is where OpenClaw goes from useful to holy shit, from a personal assistant to a productive employee that ships code. Below are some of the top tasks: autonomous PR creation from bug reports, test suite, monitoring with autofix on failure, deploy, staging, production via a Telegram message, cron-based health checks that actually do something about problems, multi-agent dev teams coordinated through chat, common reports of people using OpenClaw to monitor online forums /Reddit, etc. to uncover bug fixes and feature enhancements, then develop and ship them overnight. This is real autonomy at work. So, and this guy captured it well: autonomously running tests on my app and capturing errors through a Sentry webhook, then resolving them and opening PRs, etc. The future is here. Okay, so yes, the future is here, but again, is it better to have a specialized app here which can do all these things for you? So we have got something like GitHub Copilot. We also have dedicated IDEs. Cursor is there, Windsurf is there, Google has got Anti-Gravity. So these are dedicated IDEs that you can use to write code. So would I use those IDEs, or would I just sort of blindly trust OpenClaw and I believe it won't screw up and do any of that? I'm not very sure. I don't think I will. I can blindly give OpenClaw access to my code, and I can't blindly believe that it will, it will just create the code properly. It will. It won't make any errors while merging files to a code base. Look, I'm not saying that you shouldn't use AI. Of course, I use AI for coding. Everyone uses AI for coding. Yes, most people do that. But if you have a large enough code base like I have for the AI apps that I have, and if you are sort of expecting that AI won't make any errors, in that case, then I have seen a lot of times, and I'm talking about specialized apps here. We have seen Copilot make mistakes. We have seen Cursor make mistakes and sort of like just add code that instead of solving things, it ended up creating bugs. So there are a lot of things that where AI can make mistakes. The only thing that it boils down to at the end is reliability. Yes, they will get a lot of work done, but your role sort of here is like being a babysitter, right? What most posts I have seen about OpenClaw is saying is that you don't have to be a babysitter, and like you can just blindly trust it to do the entire process end to end, and that's just not the case. At least it's not been that reliable. And the thing is that if specialized apps are not that reliable, how can you expect something as generalized? OpenClaw is more generic, right? How can you expect a generic agent to be better than specialized apps if the specialized apps are not perfect in the first place? Yes, they are good. Yes, you should use them, but blindly trusting OpenClaw is something that you shouldn't do. Okay, so that's the only thing that it boils down to. It's reliability. Can you trust it? I personally can't. but yes, you can sort of give it a shot. Your mileage might vary, but I think you, at the moment, you need to be a babysitter, and you sort of need to see that, hey, this is what it is doing, this is what this is where it might make mistakes. You supervise it, you give it the right direction, you give it the right commands, but at the end of the day you might have to review its work. That's about it. Then the last use case, and I think that's the last one we have, financial markets. I'm not going to talk much about that. It just says that you can use it for crypto or stock screening, Warren Buffett style equity analysis, crypto monitoring. So yeah, this is completely subjective. It's up to you that if you want to use it to make investments. This is personally something that I'm not comfortable with, just handing over my money to AI and then hoping that it will make me more money. That's not what I'm comfortable with. If you are, then yeah, go ahead. A lot of people are actually doing that. But yeah, for a solopreneur, what it will end up doing is that it can do the content, or it can manage the content SEO pipelines, performing topic research, keyword identification, drafting ads, and then queue those up for human approval. So firstly, I am building an AI product, okay, an AI SEO product rather, and we also have specialized tools for doing keyword research like SEMrush, Hrefs, etc. So, and even these specialized apps don't have, they have AI tools which will sort of help you in finding, which will help you with keyword ideas. But if you're just expecting like you can go into some place like Hrefs or SEMrush and then just typing, hey, just give me the keywords that I should create content on for my website, then no, even those dedicated tools don't have those kinds of tools. What they will probably do is they will probably give you long tail variations, but you will sort of have to go through the data on your own. You will have to sift through that information, find what kind of volume you are looking at, what kind of keyword difficulty you are looking at. You will have to compare a lot of numbers, and then you can come up with the right keywords. Okay, so yes, it can probably help you a bit, but no, if you are sort of expecting that it will do the entire pipeline, it will manage the entire pipeline from end to end for you, then no, it might do some topic research, and it might end up coming with random topics that might be too hard to rank for your domain. And then keyword identification, drafting ads, well, yeah, it can do that, but again, it's not going to be as reliable until it has access to Hrefs or SEMrush. And as far as I know, since those tools don't have access to that info, well, you can't really expect a general agent to do all those tasks well if specialized apps don't have those very tools, right? Then we have financial operations, invoicing, follow-ups, payments, repetitive accounting entries. All of this can be automated to save time. Okay, yes. Then sales support, automated SDRs who can scrape for leads, conduct outbound outreach, and tee up qualified prospects. Then we have customer support. We are mostly used to AI customer service representatives now. OpenClaw can make it more personal. Yes, so it can do all that, and we have seen that I use Tidio and Intercom on the websites that I have on my AI products, and they have AI based features as well, where they can sort of just take in the query, they can suggest you a reply, you can edit it, and then you can send it off. It's as simple as that. So yes, those things are there, and OpenClaw might make it more personal, but I am not very sure that it will sort of be able to perform better than the AI bots that we have in those very tools. Maybe it can sort of just send off those replies for you automatically, but would you want that to be done? If you have a lot of customers, then yes, an AI tool they are already looking for, and you might already have an AI CSR. But if they're sort of reaching out to you after the AI CSR failed to deliver them the right response, if they are reaching out to you for further help, then does that make sense to have an AI bot like OpenClaw on that stage to still further annoy them? I don't think so. I don't think it's a good case. It's better that we have a human there who can help them, because well, if the AI CSR couldn't solve their query, that's where a human comes in. Okay. Then we have got sales support, financial operations. So yes, these are all good use cases, and again, your mileage will vary. So yes, at the end of the day, these are all powerful use cases, and yes, OpenClaw can definitely help. But you have to keep in mind the reliability, you have to keep in mind the time that you will go into setting things up, and it's not just going to be that once you set things up you can leave them there. You might have to troubleshoot things later on. So yes, if you're too technical, keep that in mind that you will have to spend time. Okay, reliability, setting things up, and then lastly the API costs. Are you comfortable with spending a large amount of money on those? Yes, we have cheaper AI models, but then the costs keep racking up. Okay, they are reasoning models, so they will also sort of burn through tokens quickly. So if you are comfortable with all these things, then yes, I would definitely recommend you take OpenClaw for a test drive, see if it works for you. But don't just blindly give into the hype that yes, we are at that AGI stage, AGI has arrived. No, it probably hasn't, and it will take some time. Okay, the main issue is reliability, and being someone who has worked on several AI products, I can tell you that AI models are not reliable yet. There is still a long way for them to go, and that's the main thing you have to keep in mind, is that AI can make mistakes, and this is what you will see when you go to websites of ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. All of them note that AI can make mistakes. Okay, so just keep that in mind. But yes, OpenClaw is really powerful. The future has great opportunities, it has great potential, and we will see great things happen with AI agents, but we are not there yet. That's the key thing that you have to keep in mind. So yes, I hope that you found this video helpful. If that was the case, then make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, follow, etc. You know the drill. Drop a comment with your suggestions, and I would love to know how you're using OpenClaw or what are your thoughts on it. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.